Listen up. I was already waiting because my intelligence chief shattered into my office at 11:47 p.m. with intercepted communications showing CIA's backup plan. The first coup attempt had failed 3 days ago, but the intercepted messages showed something terrifying. CIA had a backup plan, already activated. Mr. President, my intelligence chief said, voice shaking. They're not giving up. The communications show a second team. They're planning to strike within hours. Tonight. They think we're celebrating the failed coup. I felt ice spread through my chest. Not fear, clarity, cold clarity, because I wasn't celebrating. I was waiting. I'd been waiting for this exact moment. Waiting for CIA's backup plan. Show me everything, I commanded. My intelligence chief spread documents across my desk. Intercepted satellite communications, decoded messages, asset deployment orders, financial transfer records, complete picture of CIA's backup plan. Different from the first coup, more sophisticated, more dangerous, more likely to succeed if I hadn't been waiting. The first coup attempt was military, officers bribed, soldiers recruited, weapons smuggled, classic military coup. We detected it 2 weeks before execution, arrested the conspirators, seized the weapons, exposed the funding, failed completely. But I knew CIA wouldn't stop, knew they'd have contingency plans, they'd activate backup operations, they'd try different approach. So I kept watching, kept monitoring, waiting for the backup plan to reveal itself. 3 days earlier, first coup attempt executed, 3 a.m. Military officers moved to secure key government buildings, Presidential Palace, National Assembly, state television, radio stations, standard coup playbook. But we were ready. We'd known for 2 weeks. We'd monitored their planning. We'd identified every conspirator. We'd tracked every weapon shipment. We'd traced every dollar of foreign funding. We were ready. My loyal military units moved simultaneously, arrested the coup plotters at their staging points, seized weapons before they could be distributed, secured all government buildings before rebels could occupy them. The coup collapsed within 2 hours. Complete failure, total defeat. I held press conference that morning, 9 a.m., showed the evidence, named the conspirators, displayed the weapons, traced the funding to CIA front organizations, exposed everything, made the coup attempt public, made the foreign involvement undeniable. Last night, military officers attempted coup d'etat against legitimate government of Burkina Faso. The coup failed. We arrested the conspirators. We seized their weapons. We traced their funding to American intelligence agencies. This was not internal military dispute. This was foreign-backed regime change attempt. I displayed the financial records, money transfers from CIA front companies, payments to coup plotters, weapons purchases, logistics funding, everything documented, everything proven, everything showing CIA orchestrated the coup. Western media claimed I was fabricating, claimed the coup was internal affair, claimed CIA involvement was conspiracy theory, claimed I was manufacturing external threats to justify authoritarianism. Standard response, predictable denial, expected propaganda. But I had the evidence, bank transfers, communication intercepts, witness testimony, physical weapons with traceable serial numbers, evidence that proved CIA involvement, evidence I was ready to present if they continued denying. I knew they'd try again, knew the first coup was just opening move, knew CIA had backup plans, knew they wouldn't accept one failure, so I kept my intelligence networks active, kept monitoring communications, kept watching for the backup plan. 3 days after first coup failed, my signals intelligence unit intercepted satellite communication, encrypted, routed through multiple servers, designed to be untraceable. But we'd been monitoring CIA communication patterns for months. We recognized the signature. We decrypted the message. The message was operational order, activating backup plan, different approach, different assets, different timeline, tonight, method, assassination, target, me. The backup plan wasn't another military coup. It was targeted killing, eliminate me, create power vacuum, install pro-Western successor, simpler, faster, less visible, more deniable. Better backup plan than another coup attempt. The intercepted communications identified the assassination team, 5 operatives, former special forces, experienced, professional, well-equipped, already in Burkina Faso, already in Ouagadougou. already preparing for tonight's operation. My intelligence chief showed me the operational details. Entry point, Presidential Palace Service entrance. Timing, 2 a.m. when security shift changes. Method, silenced weapons, rapid assault. Escape route, pre-positioned vehicles, diplomatic immunity. Deniability, no CIA connection, blame on internal security failure. They'd planned carefully, studied palace security, identified vulnerabilities, timed the attack perfectly, prepared escape, ensured deniability, professional operation, likely to succeed. If I hadn't been waiting, but I was waiting. I'd prepared for this. I'd anticipated backup plan. I'd readied my response, not just defensive response, offensive counterstrike, trap that would expose them. Capture them, prove CIA's continued regime change efforts. I called emergency security meeting, midnight, my most trusted commanders, intelligence chief, presidential guard commander, special forces leader, people I knew were loyal. People I knew weren't compromised. CIA is sending assassination team tonight, 5 operatives, entry through service entrance, 2 a.m. during shift change. We're not stopping them at the entrance. We're letting them in. We're capturing them inside the palace. We're getting them on camera attempting assassination. We're creating undeniable proof. My presidential guard commander objected. Mr. President, that's too dangerous. We should stop them at the entrance, arrest them before they enter, eliminate the risk. If we arrest them at the entrance, CIA denies connection, claims they were random criminals, claims we fabricated evidence. But if we let them enter, let them attempt assassination, capture them in the act, undeniable proof, proof that destroys CIA's deniability. My intelligence chief supported. We can control the situation. Position forces in the palace. Let them enter. Let them move toward presidential quarters. Capture them before they reach you. Film everything. Create evidence that can't be denied. I made the decision. We let them in. We film everything. We capture them alive. We expose CIA's backup plan. We prove they tried assassination after coup failed. We destroy their credibility permanently. 1:30 a.m. I was in my office. Not sleeping. Not hiding. Working. Visible through windows. Creating appearance of normal late-night work. Bait for the trap. My security forces positioned throughout palace. Hidden. Ready. Cameras recording every corridor, every entrance, every approach to my office. Everything prepared. Everything ready. Trap set. 1:47 a.m. Service entrance. Security shift change. Moment of vulnerability. Exactly as CIA planned. Exactly as we anticipated. 5 figures approached. Dark clothing. Professional movement. Coordinated advance. Weapons visible. Silencers attached. Moving towards service entrance. Moving into our trap. They bypassed the lock. Professional technique. Quick. Quiet. Efficient. Entered the palace. Moving through service corridors. Heading toward my office. Everything filmed. Everything recorded. Everything creating evidence. They moved through palace, checking corners, covering angles, professional tactics, military training obvious. These weren't criminals. These were operatives. Trained, experienced, deadly. 2:03 a.m. They reached the corridor outside my office, 50 meters away, weapons raised, moving carefully, almost in position, almost ready to strike, almost successful. That's when my forces moved. From every direction, overwhelming force, lights flooding the corridor. Commands shouted, "Drop your weapons on the ground, now!" The operatives froze, surrounded, outnumbered, no escape route, no diplomatic immunity to invoke yet, no deniability to claim, caught in the act, filmed attempting assassination. Undeniable proof. 4 operatives dropped weapons, surrendered, professional calculation, captured alive, facing trial, but maintaining chance of extraction. 1 operative raised his weapon, chose fight over surrender, my forces fired. Non-lethal rounds, incapacitating, not killing. We needed them alive, needed them to testify, needed them to prove CIA connection. All 5 captured, all 5 alive, all 5 filmed attempting assassination, all 5 providing undeniable proof. Perfect execution, perfect trap, perfect evidence. I walked into the corridor, looked at the captured operatives, professional soldiers, trained killers, CIA assets, sent to assassinate me, failed because I was waiting. Who sent you? I asked. Silence, professional resistance, training, holding. Who planned this operation? Silence. Who's paying you? Silence. But it didn't matter. I didn't need their confession. I had the evidence. I had the footage. I had the weapons. I had the operational documents we'd intercept. I had everything. 3 a.m. I called emergency press conference. Immediate. No delay. No time for CIA to prepare denial. No opportunity for cover story. Just evidence. Just truth. Just exposure. International media scrambled to presidential palace. Confused. Wondering why emergency conference at 3 a.m., expecting announcement about something. Not knowing they were about to witness proof of assassination attempt. I walked to podium. Behind me, screens showing footage, operatives entering palace, moving through corridors, weapons raised, approaching my office, everything filmed, everything documented. Everything proving assassination attempt. 3 hours ago, 5 armed operatives entered presidential palace. Their mission, assassinate me. Their employer, CIA. Their failure, complete. Let me show you what happened. I played the footage, full sequence, service entrance breach, movement through palace, weapons visible, professional tactics, approaching my office, capture, everything visible, everything undeniable. The room went silent. Journalists staring at screens, watching assassination attempt in real time, understanding the implications, understanding CIA tried to kill African president, understanding the backup plan after failed coup. 3 days ago, CIA-backed coup attempt failed. We arrested the conspirators. We seized the weapons. We exposed the foreign funding. Today, CIA sent assassination team, backup plan. Different approach, same objective. Remove me, install pro-Western government. Failed again. I brought out the captured operatives, handcuffed, guarded, visible to all cameras, physical proof, living evidence, undeniable reality. These 5 men entered presidential palace tonight with weapons and silencers. They moved toward my office. They prepared to kill me. We captured them. We have footage. We have weapons. We have evidence. This is CIA's backup plan. This is what happens when their coup fails. They try assassination. Questions erupted. Everyone shouting. Everyone demanding details. Everyone recognizing this was massive story. Mr. President, how do you know they're CIA? We intercepted communications, operational orders, satellite transmissions, encrypted messages, all showing CIA coordination, all proving this was organized operation, all demonstrating foreign intelligence involvement. Will you release the operatives? No, they attempted to assassinate head of state. They violated sovereignty. They conducted terrorist operation. They face trial. All 5. Full prosecution. What about CIA response? CIA will deny. Will claim these are criminals. Will say we fabricated evidence. But we have footage. We have communications. We have operational documents. We have proof they can't deny. I displayed the intercepted communications. Operational orders. Asset deployment. Timeline. Everything showing CIA planned and coordinated the assassination attempt. Everything proving backup plan after failed coup. African journalists stood, applauding. Understanding this proved CIA conducts assassination operations. Understanding this exposed regime change methods. Understanding this showed what African leaders face. Western correspondents typed frantically. Understanding this was enormous scandal. Understanding CIA credibility was destroyed. Understanding this changed everything about how regime change operations were perceived. Within 1 hour, CIA issued statement, predictable, defensive, denying everything. CIA has no involvement in alleged incident in Burkina Faso. Claims of CIA assassination attempt are fabricated. The individuals detained are not CIA operatives. We categorically deny these allegations. I responded immediately. More evidence, more communications, more proof, destroying their denial. CIA denies involvement, but we have their operational orders, we have satellite communications, we have financial transfers, we have everything. Denial is impossible. I released the operational documents, showing CIA planning, showing asset deployment, showing coordination, showing everything that proved CIA organized the assassination attempt. CIA's denial collapsed within hours. Too much evidence, Too many communications, too clear connection, too obvious coordination. Revised CIA statement, 6 a.m. Attempting damage control. CIA acknowledges that individuals with past intelligence connections may have been involved in incident in Burkina Faso. However, this was not authorized CIA operation. We are investigating how this occurred. From no involvement to not authorized in 6 hours. From complete denial to admission of intelligence connection. From claiming fabrication to promising investigation. But I wasn't done. I had more evidence, more operations, more proof. My intelligence network discovered CIA had backup plans beyond assassination, plans for economic sabotage, plans for media manipulation, plans for diplomatic isolation, complete regime change strategy, multiple layers, multiple approaches, all designed to remove me if assassination failed. Another press conference, more evidence, more plans, more exposure. Yesterday, I exposed CIA assassination attempt. Today, I'm exposing their complete regime change strategy. Assassination was just one component. They have economic plans, media plans, diplomatic plans, comprehensive strategy to remove me and install pro-Western government. I displayed the complete strategy documents. Economic sabotage targeting our currency, media campaigns manufacturing crisis narratives, diplomatic efforts to isolate Burkina Faso internationally. Everything coordinated, everything planned, everything designed to achieve regime change through multiple methods. This isn't isolated assassination attempt. This is systematic regime change operation. Multiple approaches, multiple timelines, multiple contingencies. CIA planned everything. We captured everything. We're exposing everything. Evidence was overwhelming. Documents detailing multi-phase regime change operation. Communications between CIA officers and local collaborators. Financial records showing payments to coup plotters. Technical specifications for assassination equipment. Training materials for operatives. Contingency plans for every scenario. Complete operational archive captured from CIA safe house in Ouagadougou. I held press conference, international media present, African journalists recording, global audience watching, time to expose systematic foreign interference in African sovereignty. What you're seeing is comprehensive CIA regime change operation against Burkina Faso. Operation planned over 18 months. Operation involving dozens of CIA officers. Operation coordinating with local collaborators. Operation designed to remove me and install Western-friendly government. I displayed documents on screen. CIA operational plans, coup timelines, assassination protocols, regime change strategies, evidence projected for world to see, proof impossible to deny or dismiss. Phase 1 was economic pressure, sanctions, investment withdrawal, currency manipulation, economic warfare designed to create instability and popular discontent. We documented everything. Phase 2 was political subversion, supporting opposition groups, funding protest movements, amplifying dissent through media operations, creating appearance of popular uprising against government. We tracked every payment. Phase 3 was military coup, recruiting military officers, promising positions in new government, coordinating timing with economic and political operations, classic CIA regime change playbook. We identified every conspirator. Phase 4 was assassination. When coup attempt failed, CIA activated backup plan. Send professional assassination team, eliminate president, create power vacuum, allow coup plotters second opportunity. We captured entire team. Phase 5 was sustained destabilization. If assassination failed, continue economic pressure, political subversion, and military recruitment until government collapsed. Long-term regime change operation. We have complete documentation. Evidence continued. Photographs of CIA officers meeting with coup plotters, audio recordings of recruitment conversations, video surveillance of weapons transfers, financial transactions showing payment flows, bank records proving CIA funding, communications intercepts revealing coordination, comprehensive proof of systematic regime change operation. This isn't conspiracy theory. This isn't anti-Western propaganda. This is documented CIA operation to overthrow legitimate government of Burkina Faso. Evidence is irrefutable. Operation is exposed. World can judge for themselves. International reaction was immediate. Some Western media tried to dismiss evidence, called it alleged documents, suggested possible fabrication, questioned authenticity of materials. Standard dismissal tactics when uncomfortable truths emerge. But evidence was too comprehensive, too detailed, too specific, too verifiable. Documents contained information only CIA would possess. Communications referenced classified operations. Financial records matched known CIA funding patterns. Technical specifications matched CIA equipment. Dismissal became impossible. I announced my response: comprehensive, strong, permanent. All CIA personnel are expelled from Burkina Faso. All CIA front organizations are banned. All CIA assets are frozen. All CIA operations are terminated. Burkina Faso will not tolerate foreign intelligence agencies attempting to overthrow legitimate government. Expulsion was immediate. CIA station chief given 24 hours to leave country. CIA officers identified and expelled. CIA contractors terminated and deported. CIA-affiliated organizations shut down. CIA bank accounts frozen. CIA property seized. Complete termination of CIA presence in Burkina Faso. We are also sharing this evidence with every African nation, sharing documents proving CIA regime change operations, sharing intelligence about CIA methods and tactics, sharing information about CIA personnel and front organizations, warning all African leaders about systematic foreign interference. Evidence distributed across continent, detailed briefings provided to African governments, intelligence shared through secure channels, documentation proving CIA conducts systematic regime change operations against African leaders who prioritize sovereignty over Western interests. Mali announced similar measures within hours. Mali expels all CIA personnel following evidence of regime change operations. We stand with Burkina Faso against foreign interference. Malian government had received intelligence briefing, reviewed evidence from Burkina Faso operation, recognized similar patterns in their own country, identified CIA personnel and front organizations operating in Mali, decided immediate action necessary. Malian president addressed nation. Evidence from Burkina Faso proves CIA conducts systematic regime change operations across Sahel region. Mali has experienced similar interference, similar economic pressure, similar political subversion, similar military recruitment. We will not tolerate continued foreign operations against our sovereignty. Mali expelled 15 CIA officers, shut down 12 CIA front organizations, froze CIA financial accounts, terminated CIA operations. Comprehensive response matching Burkina Faso measures. Niger followed. Niger terminates all CIA cooperation. Evidence of assassination attempts and coup plotting proves CIA cannot be trusted. Niger had been cooperating with CIA on counterterrorism operations, allowing CIA personnel in country, permitting CIA activities under counterterrorism justification. Evidence from Burkina Faso changed calculation. Nigerian government reviewed CIA activities in their country, discovered personnel engaged in activities beyond counterterrorism, found evidence of political interference, identified attempts to recruit military officers, recognized regime change operation disguised as counterterrorism cooperation. Niger expelled all CIA personnel, 23 officers ordered to leave immediately, all CIA cooperation agreements terminated, all CIA operations ceased, complete break with CIA presence. Chad joined. Chad bans CIA operations. Systematic regime change efforts across Sahel region must be stopped. Chadian intelligence services had been monitoring CIA activities, noticed suspicious patterns, observed meetings between CIA officers and political opposition, tracked financial flows to destabilizing groups, recognized regime change operation in progress. Evidence from Burkina Faso confirmed suspicions, provided proof of systematic CIA operations, demonstrated methods used across region, gave Chad justification for decisive action. Chad expelled 18 CIA officers, banned all CIA front organizations, froze CIA assets, prohibited future CIA operations, comprehensive termination of CIA presence. Pattern emerging. CIA wasn't just targeting Burkina Faso. CIA was conducting regime change operations across entire Sahel region, multiple governments, multiple methods. Systematic effort to remove leaders who chose sovereignty over Western control. Intelligence sharing revealed scope of operations. CIA had active regime change operations in Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Chad, Guinea, Sudan, and Central African Republic. 7 simultaneous operations, coordinated timing, unified strategy, continental regime change campaign. Operations shared common elements. Economic pressure applied to all target nations. Political subversion funded in all countries. Military recruitment attempted in all armed forces. Assassination teams prepared for all leaders. Systematic approach applied across region. Operations coordinated from single CIA division. Africa Operations Division managing all regime change efforts. Same personnel rotating between countries. Same methods applied across operations. Same funding sources supporting all activities. Centralized command structure for continental destabilization. Within 48 hours, 8 African nations expelled CIA personnel. Within 1 week, 15 nations. Continental response, systematic expulsion, coordinated rejection of CIA operations. Guinea expelled 12 CIA officers, shut down CIA front organizations, terminated CIA operations, joined continental response to foreign interference. Sudan expelled 9 CIA personnel, banned CIA activities, froze CIA accounts, participated in coordinated expulsion. Central African Republic expelled 7 CIA officers, closed CIA facilities, ended CIA presence, contributed to continental rejection. Senegal expelled 14 CIA personnel, identified through intelligence sharing, recognized as regime change operatives, expelled immediately. Ivory Coast expelled 11 CIA officers, discovered conducting political subversion, funding opposition groups, removed from country. Cameroon expelled 16 CIA personnel, found recruiting military officers, planning destabilization operations, deported within 48 hours. Democratic Republic of Congo expelled 21 CIA officers, largest CIA station in Central Africa, conducting multiple regime change operations, completely shut down. Kenya expelled 13 CIA personnel, discovered operating beyond counterterrorism mandate, engaging in political interference, expelled and banned. Tanzania expelled 8 CIA officers, found conducting unauthorized intelligence operations, violating cooperation agreements, removed immediately. Uganda expelled 10 CIA personnel, identified attempting to recruit government officials, conducting regime change preparation, expelled permanently. Zimbabwe expelled 6 CIA officers, discovered funding opposition movements, supporting destabilization efforts, deported immediately. Mozambique expelled 9 CIA personnel, found conducting political subversion operations, interfering in internal affairs, removed from country. Angola expelled 12 CIA officers, identified planning regime change operation, recruiting military officers, expelled and property seized. Namibia expelled 5 CIA personnel, small station conducting disproportionate interference, political subversion activities exposed, operations terminated. Continental response unprecedented, coordinated expulsion across multiple regions, unified rejection of CIA operations, systematic termination of CIA presence across Africa. CIA faced crisis, not just one failed operation, continental rejection, systematic exposure, complete loss of access across Africa. CIA headquarters scrambled to respond, emergency meetings convened, damage assessment conducted, operational review initiated, crisis management activated. But damage was catastrophic. Decades of CIA presence in Africa destroyed in 1 week. Networks built over years dismantled in days. Operations planned for months terminated immediately. Intelligence gathering capabilities eliminated across continent. CIA tried to maintain presence through non-official cover. Operatives posing as business people, officers disguised as journalists, personnel embedded in NGOs, agents operating as academics, attempted to continue operations covertly. But African intelligence services were watching, coordinating surveillance, sharing information about suspected operatives, identifying covert CIA personnel, exposing non-official cover operations. Additional expulsions followed. CIA operatives identified despite cover identities, personnel exposed through intelligence coordination, officers recognized through continental databases, agents discovered through systematic counterintelligence. CIA lost operational capability across Africa, could not conduct intelligence gathering, could not recruit local assets, could not plan regime change operations, could not maintain presence without immediate detection and expulsion. I announced African Counterintelligence Alliance, Continental Program, systematic detection of regime change operations, coordinated response to foreign interference, collective protection against coups and assassinations. Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and Chad are establishing African Counterintelligence Alliance. We will share intelligence about foreign regime change operations. We will coordinate detection efforts. We will jointly respond to coups and assassination attempts. We will collectively protect our governments. Alliance offered comprehensive protection framework, intelligence sharing about regime change threats, coordination protocols for responding to coups, assassination prevention systems, economic pressure countermeasures, political subversion detection, military loyalty programs, complete defense against foreign interference. Any African nation can join. Any country facing foreign interference, any government threatened by regime change operations, any leader targeted for removal, join us, share with us, protect with us. Invitation was unconditional and comprehensive. No nation excluded based on political system, no government rejected because of economic model, no leader denied membership due to ideological position. Open door policy welcoming all African nations committed to protecting sovereignty against foreign interference. Alliance membership open to all African nations. No ideological requirements, no political conditions, no economic prerequisites. Only requirement was commitment to protecting African sovereignty against foreign interference. Single requirement was meaningful. Commitment meant sharing intelligence about foreign interference threats. Commitment meant coordinating responses to regime change operations. Commitment meant supporting other member nations facing foreign threats. Commitment meant prioritizing continental security over individual national interests when sovereignty was threatened. Commitment was formalized through Alliance Charter, document signed by joining nations, treaty establishing mutual obligations and collective security guarantees, framework defining intelligence sharing protocols and response coordination procedures, legal foundation for continental counterintelligence cooperation. Charter contained specific provisions. Member nations agreed to share intelligence about foreign operatives within 24 hours of identification. Members committed to coordinating responses to coup attempts within 12 hours of detection. Nations pledged to provide assistance to any member facing assassination threats within 6 hours of request. Specific timelines ensuring rapid continental response. Charter established Alliance headquarters in Ouagadougou, Central Coordination Center managing intelligence sharing, Continental database housing information about foreign operatives and regime change methods, Communication hub connecting all member nations, Operational center directing coordinated responses to threats. Charter created Alliance Council with representatives from all member nations, decision-making body determining alliance policies and priorities, coordination mechanism ensuring all members participate in governance, democratic structure giving every nation voice in continental security decisions. Within 1 month, 26 African nations joined Alliance. Within 3 months, 41 nations. Within 6 months, 54 nations. Every African nation joined. Continental unity, universal participation, complete African commitment to collective security against regime change. First month saw rapid expansion. Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Chad as founding members. Guinea, Senegal, Ivory Coast joining within first week. Cameroon, Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo joining second week. Sudan, South Sudan, Ethiopia joining third week. Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda joining fourth week. 26 nations united within 30 days. Nations joined for different reasons but shared common concern. West African nations facing CIA regime change operations. Central African countries experiencing French intelligence interference. East African governments dealing with multiple foreign intelligence threats. Southern African nations concerned about Western destabilization efforts. North African countries facing various foreign interference operations. Universal African experience with foreign threats driving universal participation. Second and third months brought additional members. South Africa joining with sophisticated intelligence capabilities. Egypt bringing extensive counterintelligence experience. Nigeria contributing largest intelligence service on continent. Angola offering resource support for alliance operations. Zimbabwe sharing decades of experience resisting foreign interference. Major African powers strengthening alliance significantly. Smaller nations joined, recognizing value of collective security. Lesotho, Swaziland, Djibouti, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Liberia. Countries with limited individual capabilities gaining protection through alliance membership. Nations vulnerable alone becoming secure through continental cooperation. Collective defense providing security impossible to achieve independently. Island nations joined alliance. Madagascar, Mauritius, Seychelles, Comoros, Cape Verde, São Tomé, and Príncipe. Countries geographically isolated from mainland gaining continental security connection. Nations with small populations accessing collective intelligence resources. Island members contributing unique perspectives on maritime security and foreign interference. By 6 months, every African nation was member. 54 countries united in Continental Counterintelligence Alliance. Universal participation, unprecedented in African history. Complete continental commitment to collective security. Unity transcending political differences, economic disparities, linguistic divisions, and historical tensions. Continental unity was remarkable achievement. Nations with different colonial histories cooperating seamlessly. French-speaking, English-speaking, Portuguese-speaking, Arabic-speaking countries working together effectively. Democracies and non-democracies coordinating without ideological conflict. Rich and poor nations contributing according to capabilities without resentment. Unity based on shared commitment to sovereignty protection. Universal participation transformed African security landscape. No gaps in continental coverage. No safe havens for foreign operatives. No weak points for foreign intelligence exploitation. Complete continental defense against regime change operations. Comprehensive protection for all African leaders and governments. Alliance represented fundamental shift in African security. Previous approach was individual nations facing foreign interference alone. Limited intelligence. Isolated responses. Vulnerable to sophisticated regime change operations. Easy targets for CIA and other foreign intelligence agencies. Previous approach had failed repeatedly. Lumumba assassinated because Congo faced foreign interference alone. Sankara killed because Burkina Faso lacked continental support. Gaddafi eliminated because Libya was isolated from African collective security. Countless coups succeeded because individual nations couldn't defend against foreign-backed operations. History of failure demonstrating need for continental approach. Individual nations lacked resources for effective counterintelligence. Small intelligence services unable to monitor all foreign operatives. Limited budgets preventing acquisition of advanced detection technology. Insufficient personnel for comprehensive surveillance operations. Inadequate capabilities making nations vulnerable to sophisticated foreign interference. Isolated responses were ineffective. When one nation expelled foreign operatives, they simply moved to neighboring countries. When individual government detected coup plot, conspirators fled across borders to continue planning. When single nation exposed regime change operation, foreign intelligence agencies adapted methods and tried again elsewhere. Lack of coordination enabling foreign interference to continue despite individual national efforts. Alliance changed calculation. Foreign intelligence agencies no longer faced individual nations. They faced continental network of 54 countries, sharing intelligence and coordinating responses. They faced collective capabilities exceeding any individual nation. They faced unified defense, making regime change operations exponentially more difficult. Continental network created surveillance coverage impossible for individual nations. Operatives tracked across borders. Activities monitored across multiple countries. Patterns identified through continental coordination. Comprehensive surveillance preventing foreign operatives from operating undetected anywhere in Africa. Shared intelligence multiplied effectiveness. Information from 54 national intelligence services combined in central database. Analysis performed on continental scale, identifying patterns invisible to individual nations, collective knowledge exceeding some of individual national intelligence. Continental intelligence capability rivaling Western intelligence agencies. Coordinated responses eliminated safe havens. Operatives expelled from one nation immediately identified if they entered another member country. Coup plotters fleeing across borders immediately arrested in neighboring nations. Regime change operations exposed in one country immediately countered across continent. Coordination preventing foreign interference from succeeding through geographic displacement. Unified defense created deterrent effect. Foreign intelligence agencies calculating costs and risks of African operations, recognizing high probability of detection through continental surveillance. Understanding certainty of exposure through intelligence sharing. Acknowledging impossibility of success against coordinated continental response. Risk-benefit analysis making African regime change operations unattractive. African Counterintelligence Alliance operated fully, intelligence sharing networks established, real-time communication between member nations about regime change threats. Coordinated databases of foreign operatives and regime change methods. Continental early warning system for coups and assassinations. Intelligence sharing networks utilized advanced technology. Secure communication systems connecting all member nations. Encrypted channels preventing foreign interception. Real-time data transmission enabling immediate information sharing. Indigenous African technology reducing dependence on Western systems potentially compromised by backdoors. Networks operated continuously. 24-hour monitoring and communication. Constant surveillance for regime change indicators. Perpetual information flow between member nations. Continuous continental awareness of foreign interference threats. Never sleeping system protecting Africa around the clock. Real-time communication enabled rapid response. Threat detected in one nation immediately communicated to all members. Warning distributed across continent within minutes. Coordinated response activated within hours. Speed advantage over foreign intelligence agencies requiring days or weeks to adapt operations. Communication protocols were standardized. Common formats for intelligence reports. Unified classification systems for threat levels. Standardized procedures for requesting assistance. Consistent methods for coordinating responses. Standardization enabling efficient communication across linguistic and organizational differences. Coordinated databases housed comprehensive information, biographical data on thousands of foreign operatives, photographs and biometric information enabling identification, known aliases and cover identities, operational methods and patterns, historical activities and current locations, complete intelligence picture accessible to all member nations. Databases included regime change methods documentation, coup plotting techniques used by foreign intelligence agencies, assassination methods and equipment, economic pressure tactics, political subversion strategies, military recruitment approaches, comprehensive knowledge enabling detection and prevention. Databases were continuously updated, new information added immediately upon discovery, intelligence refined through ongoing analysis, historical data maintained for pattern recognition, living system growing more valuable with each contribution, continental knowledge base becoming increasingly sophisticated. Continental early warning system monitored multiple indicators, economic pressure suddenly applied to member nation, unusual foreign interest in military officers, increased funding to opposition groups, suspicious activities by diplomatic personnel, pattern of indicators suggesting regime change operation in preparation, early warning enabled preventive action, threats addressed before fully developed, vulnerabilities corrected before exploited, defenses strengthened before tested, proactive protection more effective than reactive response, prevention superior to cure in regime change operations, coup detection systems deployed, monitoring military communications for conspiracy indicators, surveillance of military officers for recruitment attempts, financial tracking for suspicious payments to armed forces personnel, systematic detection preventing coup plotting, military communications monitoring utilized sophisticated technology, signals intelligence detecting unusual communication patterns, analysis identifying conspiracy indicators in message traffic, automated systems flagging suspicious communications for human review, technology enabling comprehensive monitoring impossible through manual methods alone. Monitoring was conducted with appropriate oversight, legal frameworks governing surveillance activities, judicial authorization required for monitoring, regular audits ensuring compliance with regulations, balance between security needs and civil liberties, responsible approach maintaining democratic principles while protecting sovereignty, surveillance of military officers focused on foreign recruitment attempts, monitoring for contacts with known foreign operatives, tracking unusual financial transactions, observing meetings with suspicious individuals, identifying officers expressing discontent or ideological alignment with foreign interests, targeted surveillance based on specific indicators rather than blanket monitoring, financial tracking detected suspicious payments, monitoring for unexplained wealth among military personnel, tracking foreign funds flowing to armed forces officers, identifying payment patterns consistent with recruitment operations, following money trails revealing foreign interference networks, financial intelligence complementing communications and human intelligence. Systematic detection prevented coup plotting before reaching execution stage. Early identification of recruitment attempts. Intervention before conspiracies fully formed. Arrests of recruited officers before coup could be launched. Prevention through detection rather than response after coup attempt. Proactive protection proving most effective approach. Detection systems were continuously improved. Learning from each detected coup plot. Analyzing methods used by foreign intelligence agencies. Developing better indicators for early detection. Refining monitoring technologies and techniques. Evolution ensuring detection capabilities stayed ahead of foreign interference methods. Alliance operations demonstrated continental cooperation could successfully protect African sovereignty. 54 nations working together, intelligence shared freely, responses coordinated effectively. Threats detected early, coups prevented systematically, assassinations stopped consistently, regime change operations defeated repeatedly, success proving value of collective security and continental unity. Assassination prevention protocols implemented, enhanced security for African leaders, coordinated threat assessment across nations, intelligence sharing about assassination teams, protective measures based on collective knowledge, continental protection for all member nation leaders. Coordinated responses developed. When one nation detected regime change operation, information immediately shared with all alliance members. Continental coordination prevented foreign agencies from simply moving operations to different countries. Collective response made systematic regime change across Africa impossible. Continental defense against regime change operational. Foreign intelligence agencies could not plan coups without detection, could not recruit military officers without exposure, could not fund opposition movements without identification, could not send assassination teams without capture, could not execute regime change without failure. CIA operations in Africa crippled, personnel expelled from continent, assets frozen across nations, operations exposed systematically, networks destroyed completely, regime change capability eliminated permanently. CIA attempted to rebuild presence, sent new operatives under different covers, established new front organizations with different names, recruited new local collaborators with different approaches, tried to restart operations with modified methods. But Alliance was watching, new operatives identified through intelligence sharing, new front organizations recognized through coordination, new collaborators detected through systematic surveillance, modified methods countered through collective learning. Every CIA attempt to rebuild presence failed. The backup plan they thought would work failed because I was waiting. Failed because I'd anticipated their moves. Failed because I'd prepared my response. Failed because African leaders were coordinating. Failed because sovereignty means something. CIA assumed backup plan would succeed. Assumed assassination would catch me unprepared. Assumed killing president would create chaos, allowing coup plotters second opportunity. Assumed African leaders wouldn't coordinate response. Assumed sovereignty was negotiable. Every assumption was wrong. I anticipated backup plan. Knew CIA would attempt assassination after coup failed. Prepared security accordingly. Set traps for assassination team. Coordinated with other African leaders. Demonstrated sovereignty is non-negotiable. I am Ibrahim Traoré, President of Burkina Faso. CIA attempted coup. I stopped it. CIA sent assassination team. I captured them. CIA planned regime change. I exposed it. CIA thought backup plan would work. I was already waiting. I'm not the president who gets surprised by coups, who falls victim to assassinations, who succumbs to regime change operations, who accepts foreign interference. I'm the president who anticipates plans, who sets traps, who captures operatives, who exposes operations, who protects sovereignty. My intelligence services were prepared, monitoring CIA activities continuously, tracking regime change indicators systematically, identifying foreign operatives proactively, anticipating next moves strategically, always staying ahead of foreign interference attempts. My security forces were ready, enhanced protection protocols implemented, assassination prevention measures deployed, coup detection systems operational, response capabilities prepared. Comprehensive security preventing regime change success. My government was coordinated. All agencies sharing information, all departments aligned on response, all personnel committed to sovereignty protection. Unified government impossible to destabilize through foreign interference. My continental partners were engaged, intelligence shared across alliance, responses coordinated across nations, support provided across borders, collective security protecting all African leaders. The coup they planned failed. The assassination they attempted captured. The regime change they designed exposed. The backup plan they activated destroyed. Coup failed because military remained loyal. Officers rejected CIA recruitment. Soldiers refused to participate in foreign-backed operation. Armed forces committed to legitimate government. Loyalty programs and enhanced benefits ensured military support. Assassination failed because security was prepared. Team identified before reaching target. Operatives captured before executing mission. Equipment seized before deployment. Intelligence advantage ensuring protection. Regime change failed because population supported government. Economic policies benefiting citizens. Political reforms expanding participation. Social programs improving lives. Genuine popular support preventing foreign-backed destabilization. Backup plan failed because I was waiting. Anticipated CIA response to coup failure. Prepared for assassination attempt. Set traps for operatives. Coordinated continental response. Strategic advantage ensuring failure of every CIA contingency. This is just the beginning, not the end, not the peak. The beginning of African leaders protecting themselves. The beginning of continental counterintelligence. The beginning of systematic coup prevention. The beginning of collective security. Beginning of African leaders refusing to accept regime change as inevitable, refusing to tolerate foreign interference as normal, refusing to allow coups as acceptable political transition, refusing to accept assassinations as occupational hazard. Fundamental rejection of foreign control over African governments. Beginning of continental counterintelligence capabilities matching Western intelligence agencies. African intelligence services sharing information. African analysts studying regime change methods. African operatives detecting foreign interference. African capabilities protecting African sovereignty. Beginning of systematic coup prevention across continent. Early warning systems detecting conspiracy indicators. Loyalty programs ensuring military support. Economic policies preventing popular discontent. Political reforms expanding legitimacy. Comprehensive approach preventing coups before they start. Beginning of collective security, protecting all African leaders. Alliance members supporting each other. Intelligence shared across borders. Responses coordinated across nations. Protection extended to all member governments. Continental solidarity ensuring no African leader faces regime change alone. The beginning of foreign intelligence agencies learning they can't overthrow African governments without consequences, can't attempt assassinations without capture, can't plan regime change without exposure, can't activate backup plans without failure. Foreign intelligence agencies face new reality. Africa is no longer easy target for regime change. African leaders are protected by continental alliance. African intelligence services detect foreign interference. African populations support legitimate governments. African sovereignty is defended collectively. CIA learned this lesson. Multiple regime change operations failed. Dozens of operatives captured. Complete presence expelled from continent. Decades of work destroyed. Permanent loss of operational capability in Africa. Other foreign intelligence agencies are learning. French intelligence services facing similar expulsions. British intelligence experiencing comparable losses. All Western intelligence agencies discovering Africa is no longer vulnerable to regime change operations. They thought I'd celebrate the failed coup, thought I'd let my guard down, thought I'd be vulnerable, thought their backup plan would work. They thought wrong. CIA psychological assessment was flawed, predicted I would relax security after coup failure, assumed successful defense would create false confidence, expected reduced vigilance providing assassination opportunity. Completely misunderstood my approach to security. I never relax, never assume threat is over, never reduce vigilance, never provide opportunities to enemies. Constant awareness, continuous preparation, permanent readiness, strategic mindset, ensuring survival. I was waiting. I was ready. I was prepared. And Africa is more secure because I was waiting. Waiting with intelligence services monitoring CIA activities. Waiting with security forces prepared for assassination attempt. Waiting with traps set for operatives. Waiting with continental coordination ready to respond. Waiting with determination to protect sovereignty. Ready with enhanced security protocols. ready with assassination prevention measures, ready with coup detection systems, ready with response capabilities, ready with continental support, complete readiness ensuring protection, prepared with intelligence about CIA methods, prepared with understanding of regime change tactics, prepared with knowledge of backup plans, prepared with countermeasures for every contingency, prepared with strategic advantage ensuring survival. Africa is more secure because preparation prevented assassination, because readiness detected operatives, because vigilance captured team, because coordination exposed operation, because determination protected sovereignty. Africa is more secure because 54 nations joined alliance, because continental intelligence sharing prevents regime change, because collective security protects all leaders, because unified response defeats foreign interference, because African solidarity ensures sovereignty. CIA tried to kill me, I captured them instead, and Africa is safer for it. Safer because regime change operation was exposed, because systematic foreign interference was revealed, because continental response was coordinated, because collective security was established, because African sovereignty is now protected by African unity. This is new Africa. Africa that anticipates threats, Africa that sets traps, Africa that captures operatives, Africa that exposes operations, Africa that protects sovereignty, Africa that defends itself, Africa that survives, Africa that prevails. New Africa that studies history and learns from past mistakes, Africa that remembers Patrice Lumumba, assassinated by CIA-backed operatives in Congo, Africa that recalls Thomas Sankara killed by French-supported coup plotters in Burkina Faso, Africa that knows Muammar Gaddafi, eliminated through NATO intervention in Libya, Africa that understands pattern of foreign interference, eliminating African leaders who chose sovereignty over submission. History teaches valuable lessons, teaches that foreign powers eliminate African leaders who threaten Western interests, teaches that sovereignty comes with price, teaches that independence requires constant vigilance, teaches that survival demands preparation, teaches that prevailing requires anticipating threats before they materialize. New Africa applies these lessons systematically, studies regime change operations from past decades, analyzes methods used against previous African leaders, identifies patterns in foreign interference tactics, recognizes warning signs of coups and assassinations, develops countermeasures based on historical knowledge. Learning from tragedy to prevent repetition, African leaders now share knowledge about regime change methods, monthly meetings discussing foreign interference threats, quarterly conferences analyzing new tactics, annual summits reviewing continental security, continuous dialogue ensuring all leaders understand threats they face and methods for countering them. Knowledge sharing extends beyond leaders, intelligence services exchanging information about foreign operatives, security forces coordinating on protection protocols, government officials discussing economic pressure tactics, civil society organizations identifying political subversion methods, comprehensive continental education about foreign interference. This is new Africa that sets traps for foreign operatives, Africa that doesn't wait passively for threats to materialize, Africa that actively identifies foreign intelligence personnel, Africa that monitors their activities continuously, Africa that creates situations exposing their intentions, Africa that captures them in act of conducting operations against African sovereignty. Traps are sophisticated and coordinated, surveillance operations tracking suspected foreign operatives, monitoring their communications and movements, documenting their meetings and contacts, recording their activities and intentions, building comprehensive evidence of foreign interference operations. Controlled exposure tactics used strategically, allowing operatives to believe their cover is secure, permitting them to proceed with recruitment attempts, enabling them to reveal their networks and methods, then capturing entire operation with complete evidence. Strategic patience yielding maximum intelligence value. Coordination multiplies trap effectiveness. When Burkina Faso identifies foreign operative, information shared with Mali, Niger, Chad. When operative travels to neighboring country, surveillance continues seamlessly. When operative attempts to recruit across borders, all nations are watching. Continental coordination creating inescapable net for foreign interference. Technology enhances trap capabilities, advanced surveillance equipment monitoring communications, facial recognition systems identifying known operatives, financial tracking revealing payment networks. Data analysis exposing operational patterns. Indigenous African technology reducing dependence on Western systems that might contain backdoors for foreign intelligence. This is new Africa that captures operatives with precision and purpose. Africa that doesn't merely detect foreign interference. Africa that arrests operatives conducting illegal activities. Africa that seizes evidence of foreign operations. Africa that prosecutes violations of sovereignty. Africa that demonstrates consequences for foreign interference. Captures are systematic and professional. Security forces trained in apprehension techniques. Legal frameworks established for prosecuting foreign operatives. Detention facilities prepared for holding captured personnel. Interrogation protocols designed for extracting intelligence. Judicial processes ready for trying sovereignty violations. Evidence collection is comprehensive. Documents seized from operative residences, communications intercepted and recorded, financial records obtained and analyzed, witness testimonies collected and verified, physical evidence preserved and cataloged, complete documentation ensuring successful prosecution. Interrogations yield valuable intelligence. Information about foreign intelligence agency structures. Details about regime change operational methods. Identification of other operatives and collaborators. Understanding of future plans and contingencies. Knowledge shared across alliance members for continental protection. Prosecutions send clear messages. Foreign operatives face serious charges. Trials conducted transparently with international observation. Convictions based on overwhelming evidence. Sentences reflecting severity of sovereignty violations. Justice demonstrating that foreign interference carries real consequences. This is new Africa that exposes operations to international community. Africa that doesn't hide foreign interference in diplomatic silence. Africa that presents evidence publicly. Africa that demands accountability from foreign governments. Africa that uses transparency as weapon against covert operations. Exposure is strategic and comprehensive. Press conferences presenting captured operatives, public displays of seized evidence, release of intercepted communications, publication of operational documents, media coverage ensuring global awareness of foreign interference in Africa. Documentation is irrefutable. Video evidence of operative activities, audio recordings of recruitment attempts, financial records proving foreign funding, technical analysis of surveillance equipment, expert testimony explaining operational methods, evidence so comprehensive that denial becomes impossible. International forums utilized effectively, United Nations briefings on foreign interference, African Union presentations on sovereignty violations, regional organization discussions on regime change operations, bilateral diplomatic protests to offending nations, multiple channels ensuring message reaches global audience. Social media amplifies exposure, evidence shared on digital platforms, documentation accessible to global public, analysis provided by independent experts, commentary from international observers, viral spread ensuring information reaches audiences beyond traditional media. This is new Africa that protects sovereignty as fundamental principle, Africa that refuses to compromise territorial integrity for economic benefits, Africa that rejects political interference regardless of diplomatic pressure, Africa that defends independence despite military threats, Africa that values sovereignty above international approval or Western acceptance. Sovereignty protection is comprehensive. Border security preventing unauthorized entry, airspace monitoring detecting foreign surveillance, maritime patrols protecting territorial waters, cyberspace defenses securing digital infrastructure, complete territorial integrity maintained against all threats. Economic sovereignty defended vigorously, rejecting conditional aid that compromises independence, refusing loans with political strings attached, developing indigenous industries, reducing foreign dependence, creating regional trade networks, decreasing Western economic leverage, economic independence, supporting political sovereignty. Political sovereignty maintained absolutely, refusing foreign interference in internal affairs, rejecting external pressure on domestic policies, defending right to choose own government systems, maintaining independence in international relations. Political autonomy as foundation of genuine sovereignty. Military sovereignty protected rigorously, controlling own defense policies and strategies, refusing foreign military bases on African soil, maintaining independent command structures, developing indigenous defense capabilities, military independence ensuring sovereignty protection. This is new Africa that defends itself through continental cooperation. Africa that recognizes individual nations are vulnerable alone. Africa that builds collective security through alliance membership. Africa that shares intelligence across borders. Africa that coordinates responses to threats. Africa that protects all members through unified action. Defense is multi-layered and coordinated. National security forces protecting individual countries. Regional coordination centers managing area responses. Continental alliance providing collective support. Multiple levels of defense creating comprehensive protection. Intelligence sharing creates early warning system. Threats detected in one nation immediately communicated to all members. Patterns identified across multiple countries analyzed collectively. Warning indicators recognized through continental coordination. Early detection enabling preventive action before threats materialize. Mutual assistance strengthens all members. Nations with advanced capabilities supporting those still developing. Countries with specific expertise sharing knowledge with others. Members with resource advantages providing material support. Collective strength exceeding some of individual national capabilities. Joint training improves continental capabilities. Security personnel from multiple nations training together. Intelligence officers learning from each other's experiences. Military forces conducting coordinated exercises. Shared learning elevating capabilities across continent. This is new Africa that survives through strategic adaptation. Africa that doesn't repeat past mistakes. Africa that learns from every threat. Africa that evolves faster than adversaries. Africa that continuously improves defenses. Africa that refuses to be victim of foreign interference. Survival requires constant vigilance. Monitoring global developments affecting African security. Tracking changes in foreign intelligence methods. Identifying emerging threats before they reach Africa. Anticipating future challenges and preparing responses. Perpetual awareness ensuring survival. Survival demands strategic thinking, understanding motivations behind foreign interference, analyzing cost-benefit calculations of adversaries, identifying vulnerabilities in foreign operations, exploiting weaknesses in regime change tactics, strategic advantage through superior understanding. Survival necessitates resource investment, funding intelligence services adequately, equipping security forces properly, training personnel comprehensively, developing technology indigenously, resources allocated to survival priorities. Survival depends on popular support, governments serving citizen interests, policies improving people's lives, reforms expanding political participation, development creating economic opportunities, legitimacy based on performance preventing foreign-backed destabilization. This is new Africa that prevails against foreign interference, Africa that defeats coup attempts, Africa that prevents assassinations, Africa that terminates regime change operations, Africa that expels foreign operatives, Africa that protects sovereignty successfully. Prevailing requires more than defense, requires offensive counterintelligence operations, requires proactive identification of threats, requires preemptive action against foreign operations, requires strategic initiative rather than reactive responses, requires controlling security narrative rather than responding to foreign actions. Prevailing demands continental unity, unity of purpose protecting African sovereignty, unity of action responding to foreign threats, unity of intelligence sharing information across borders, unity of resolve refusing to accept foreign interference, unity creating strength that individual nations cannot achieve alone. Prevailing necessitates international support, building alliances with non-Western nations, developing partnerships with countries respecting sovereignty, creating economic relationships, reducing Western dependence, establishing diplomatic networks supporting African independence, global relationships supporting continental security. Prevailing depends on generational commitment, training young Africans in counterintelligence, educating next generation about sovereignty protection, developing future leaders committed to independence, building institutions that will defend Africa for decades, long-term vision ensuring permanent security. This is new Africa that inspires hope across continent, Africa where leaders survive foreign assassination attempts, Africa where governments resist foreign coups, Africa where sovereignty is protected successfully, Africa where independence is more than rhetoric, Africa where future belongs to Africans. Hope emerges from demonstrated capability, capability to detect foreign threats, capability to capture foreign operatives, capability to expose foreign operations, capability to protect African sovereignty. Capability proving Africa can defend itself effectively. Hope grows from continental cooperation, cooperation transcending colonial borders, cooperation uniting diverse nations, cooperation creating collective strength, cooperation demonstrating African solidarity, cooperation showing unity is possible and powerful. Hope strengthens through each success, each prevented coup proving protection works, each captured operative demonstrating detection capabilities, each exposed operation revealing foreign interference, each survived threat inspiring other African leaders, success breeding confidence and determination. Hope spreads across generations, young Africans seeing leaders who survive, students learning about sovereignty protection, children growing up in secure nations, future generations inheriting defended independence, hope for Africa controlling its own destiny. This is new Africa that remembers its martyrs, Africa that honors Lumumba, Sankara, Gaddafi, and countless others who died defending sovereignty, Africa that learns from their sacrifice, Africa that refuses to let their deaths be meaningless, Africa that ensures current leaders survive where previous generations fell. Remembrance is central to Alliance mission. Every Alliance headquarters contains Memorial Hall. Photographs of assassinated African leaders line walls. Patrice Lumumba's image prominently displayed. Thomas Sankara's portrait honored. Muammar Gaddafi remembered. Countless others who died defending African sovereignty memorialized. Visual reminder of why Alliance exists and what it protects against. Memorial ceremonies held regularly. Annual commemoration on anniversary of each martyr's death. Moment of silence before Alliance Council meetings. Educational programs teaching young Africans about martyrs' lives and sacrifices. Cultural events celebrating their contributions to African independence. Systematic remembrance ensuring martyrs are never forgotten. Martyrs' families honored by Alliance. Financial support provided to descendants. Scholarships established for martyrs' children and grandchildren. Recognition ceremonies acknowledging families' sacrifices. Respect shown to those who lost loved ones defending sovereignty. Tangible demonstration that Africa remembers and values sacrifice. Remembrance motivates protection efforts. Memory of assassinated leaders driving security improvements. History of foreign interference informing current defenses. Past tragedies teaching present lessons. Martyrs' sacrifice inspiring living leaders to survive and prevail. Every security protocol developed with martyrs in mind. Asking what could have saved Lumumba. Considering what would have protected Sankara. Analyzing what might have prevented Gaddafi's elimination. Historical analysis informing contemporary security measures. Learning from past failures to prevent future tragedies. Security training includes martyr case studies. Intelligence officers studying how Lumumba was isolated diplomatically before assassination. Security personnel analyzing how Sankara's close associates were compromised. Military officers examining how Gaddafi's defenses were penetrated. Comprehensive education ensuring current generation learns from previous generations' experiences. Motivation extends beyond professional duty. Personal commitment to ensuring martyrs didn't die in vain. Emotional investment in protecting current leaders. Determination that history will not repeat. Passion driving excellence in security operations. Remembrance creating dedication impossible to achieve through training alone. Remembrance guides strategy development. Studying how Lumumba was isolated before assassination. Analyzing how Sankara was betrayed by close associates. Understanding how Gaddafi was eliminated through foreign intervention. Learning from past failures to prevent future repetitions. Lumumba's assassination teaches importance of continental support. Lumumba was isolated diplomatically. African nations failed to coordinate protection. International community abandoned him. Isolation made assassination possible. Lesson learned. African leaders must never face threats alone. Alliance ensures continental solidarity, preventing isolation. Lumumba's case demonstrates danger of trusting foreign powers. Lumumba believed United Nations would protect him, trusted Western assurances of support, relied on international institutions for security. Trust was betrayed. Lesson learned. African security must be African-controlled. Alliance provides indigenous protection not dependent on foreign goodwill. Sankara's assassination reveals vulnerability of internal betrayal. Sankara was killed by close associate Blaise Compaoré. Betrayal came from within inner circle. Trust was exploited for assassination. Lesson learned. Vetting and monitoring of close associates essential. Alliance provides counterintelligence support for identifying potential traitors. Sankara's case shows importance of military loyalty. Military officers participated in coup that killed Sankara. Armed forces turned against leader. Military betrayal enabled assassination. Lesson learned. Systematic programs ensuring military loyalty necessary. Alliance coordinates military loyalty initiatives across member nations. Gaddafi's elimination demonstrates danger of foreign military intervention. NATO intervention created conditions for Gaddafi's death. Foreign military power overwhelmed national defenses. International coalition eliminated African leader. Lesson learned. Continental unity necessary to deter foreign intervention. Alliance creates collective defense, making intervention costly. Gaddafi's case proves importance of regional solidarity. African nations failed to coordinate response to NATO intervention. Regional disunity enabled foreign military action. Lack of continental support left Libya vulnerable. Lesson learned. African unity essential for protecting sovereignty. Alliance institutionalizes solidarity, preventing future isolations. Strategic lessons implemented systematically. Diplomatic isolation prevented through alliance membership. Internal betrayal countered through vetting programs. Military loyalty ensured through systematic initiatives. Foreign intervention deterred through continental unity. Comprehensive strategy addressing all vulnerabilities identified through historical analysis. Remembrance strengthens resolve. Determination that foreign powers will not eliminate another generation of African leaders. Commitment that sovereignty will be protected this time. Promise that independence will be defended successfully. Resolve born from remembering those who fell defending Africa. Resolve manifests an unwavering commitment to alliance mission, refusing to compromise on security protocols, maintaining vigilance despite absence of immediate threats, investing resources in protection even when budgets are tight, prioritizing sovereignty defense above other considerations, determination that transcends political changes and leadership transitions. Resolve creates culture of resistance, resistance to foreign interference, resistance to external pressure, resistance to intimidation, resistance to inducements. Cultural commitment to sovereignty, making African leaders difficult targets for foreign manipulation. Resolve inspires next generation. Young Africans learning about martyrs' sacrifices. Students understanding importance of sovereignty protection. Future leaders committed to continuing defense of independence. Generational transmission of values ensuring long-term security. Resolve that will outlive current leaders and protect future generations. This is new Africa that writes its own future. Africa that refuses to accept foreign-written destiny. Africa that determines its own path. Africa that controls its own security. Africa that protects its own leaders. Africa that defends its own sovereignty. Africa that survives its own challenges. Africa that prevails through its own strength. Future is being written daily, written through each prevented coup, written through each captured operative, written through each exposed operation, written through each protected leader, written through each defended sovereignty, written by Africans for Africa,